Intermediates. As far as the intermediate level goes, it's the exact same kind of grid. But instead of going through the focus of techniques, the fundamentals, the focus is going to be on drilling and energy drills. So that means in this cycle, there will be energy drills and drilling focusing totally on what? Kickboxing. So instead of skipping around at the intermediates and doing some energy drills and weapons, some energy drills with mass attack, some energy drills and weapons, it's all going to be energy drills with kickboxing, or all energy drills with weapons, or all energy drills with ground fighting, etc., etc. Okay? At the advanced stuff, I would love to get into it, but just know that it's some pretty cool stuff. You know? All right, because think about it. If you've already done the fundamentals, and you've already done all your energy drills, guess what? We really get into some really, really cool stuff. Some very, very specific scenario-based stuff. I'll give you just one example, okay? Very few people in this room have gone through what to do if someone all of a sudden has a gun and you're grappling with a gun, or you're grappling with a knife. Or what if you have a knife and the other person has a gun and you're down on the ground? Or what happens if you have two people mass attacking you and one person has a knife and one person has a stick? You follow me on that? Okay? That's the level of complexity that you guys get at the advanced level. And that's why I say it's a science, okay? Because you have to break it down scientifically. You just can't say, well, let's just try this. There are kind of, how should I say this? There are very specific tactical responses that will help you get out of those situations. Questions?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, Matt, is this your design? Is this something that...
This is the stuff, and you know what, the main reason that I did this was, you know, if I would take a look at, you know, let's say, you know, I mean, a lot of you guys know that I have a master's degree in psychology. I mean, if I started writing articles and books when I was doing my high school psychology course, it would look pretty lame compared to what I could do when I got to my, you know, undergrad and graduate work. All I'm saying is that from a curriculum standpoint, from an organized curriculum standpoint, this has been one of the challenges that Jeet Kune Do has always had. And so really what I kind of put on myself over the last 12 to 14 months or so, maybe even closer to a half a year, is really finding the best way to organize this. And the cool thing is that, you know, like I said, I mean, I kind of came up to it where a year ago, I was saying, you know what, I've been doing this now for a decade and a half. I have quite a bit of experience. You know, I had somebody write an article and they kind of questioned me and they said, well, how many, you know, teaching hours do you have? And I said, quite honestly, I really don't know. And the guy actually said, okay, well, let's kind of figure it out really quick. You know, and it came out to be just over 20,000 teaching hours, you know, over the course of 15 years. And, you know, there's not a whole lot of JKD instructors who say they have that under them. So I think what it gave me is it gave me at least a little bit of an edge to at least approach the JKD curriculum from an organizational standpoint, saying that we can do this much, much better than we're doing it. And the cool thing is that all my students who have had several years under me, they've already had a huge advantage by having at least somewhat organization over the last 2, 3, 4, sometimes even 10 years. They've already had an advantage of having somewhat of organization. This is taking it up to the nth level, as far as I'm concerned. We're pretty happy and pretty excited that we're going to be kind of rolling out here within the next, like I said, within the next month as we start all this stuff out. What's kind of cool is the fact of, once again, we're just not shooting from the hip on this. You know, what we're really doing is that we're saying, listen, every single week as instructors, we have objectives. You know, we need you to learn X, Y, Z. Okay? Every single month, you should be up to this level. At the end of this cycle, you should be accountable for this information. At the end of this year or this, you know, training program, we're going to feel confident that you guys can do X, Y, Z. Follow me on that?